Grand Rising, y'all, and happy Monday. What is it, April 7th, 2025? My name is Melissa June. We're here on Melissa Talks, where I read my book, Asa, and talk about other things as well pertaining to my book. My book is about growing up in DV and how I survived and why I'm still here. Before I did read a couple, I wanted to read a little bit of what domestic violence was and give some definitions because I do believe some of us don't know the definitions of domestic violence, boundaries, a manipulator, gaslighting. Um, I didn't for a very long time. I didn't know the definitions. I actually just learned about boundaries in my 40s. So if I can help somebody get that before then, that's something. So anyway, happy Monday. It's April 7th, 2025. That's more for me than you. Domestic violence is a pattern of abusive behavior used to gain or maintain control over another person or their belongings. Some people think it's just physical, smacking the shit out of somebody. No, that's not it. That's it. It can be emotionally, financially, spiritually, verbally, narcissistic, sexually. Abuse has many forms. I want to talk about boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible line we draw to say, I don't want that in my life. I don't want it anywhere around me. Rather, it's physical, emotional, material, sexual, time, or spiritually. You have the right to set boundaries for your physically, emotionally, over your belongings, sexually, over your time, over your spirituality. Whatever it is that you feel you don't want in your life, you have the right to set clear boundaries. And don't let nobody tell you you don't. There are a couple things when you're creating your boundaries. Set limits. Nope, I'm not good with that. No, I don't. I really don't have the time. No, I don't have. Not no, I really don't have the time for that today. No, I don't have the time for that today. Those are setting clear, confident boundaries. Be okay with other people telling you no. I'm cool. I've heard no more than yes, and I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Boundaries give me a sense of self-respect. They'll give you a sense of self-respect as well. And they'll also maintain or encourage a healthy self-esteem along the way. If you haven't started setting your boundaries, I suggest you start. I started in my 40s. I'm still working on certain people because you'll find that setting boundary with one person can be very easy and setting boundaries with another person may not be so easy. Mine happened to be my children, my adult children. I had a problem setting boundaries. I'm getting better there though. Mm-hmm. And I also find that when there's people who don't respect your boundaries, you might have to make the toughest decision whether you allow that person to continue to be in your lives or not. I have cut off a few, and they are family members that just would not respect my boundaries, and then actually got upset about my boundaries when I met them. Like I don't even know, what's wrong with you. That's what one. What's wrong with you? I don't even know how you can do this, that. But my boundaries triggered that person. How, and it was because that individual hasn't known this me. They know the toxic Melissa. They know the Melissa that didn't set boundaries. They know Melissa that was drinking and then trying to express herself while being drunk and not even half the time remembering it. They know that Melissa. They don't know this Melissa, the healing Melissa, the Melissa that says, no, that's a trigger and I don't want it around me. And that's it. No further explanation, just no. And I hope y'all start doing that. If you haven't, set those boundaries. All right, I'm going to go on here. And I got a couple more notes here. I want to talk about manipulation because manipulation is used by most abusers. And manipulation in itself is abusive. It's the act of influencing or controlling someone unfairly or deceitful for your own personal gain. It involves using indirect tactics to control someone's behavior, emotions, or thoughts without their awareness or consent. Excuse me. Um, the tactics they can use, a manipulator uses, is gaslighting, lying, blaming, criticizing, shaming, coercion, seduction, suggestion, and blackmail. I've never been blackmailed, but I have had all the others. The impact of being manipulated can damage a person's psychological well-being. Did you hear that? It can damage a person's psychological well-being. That's deep. So I thought that I looked up gaslighting, and I didn't. So I'm going to give y'all some homework and look up gaslighting. But gaslighting is basically when a person, you say, you set your boundaries and you say, well, I didn't like such and such and such and such. And they says, well, you know what? You remember when you did such, they kind of reverse it onto you. They kind of turn it around to, instead of they shift it. It becomes where they gaslight you into thinking you've done something wrong. Then they shift it to blaming you for something that you supposedly have done. You know what I mean? And if that makes sense. But I'd rather have looked at it earlier because, like I said, sometimes this shark mind of mine goes a little wacky. But they play with your mind, basically. They maneuver your thoughts, by playing mind games. Gaslighting is, to me, like, that would be a good way. Mind games, but to look that up to get a better understanding of it, because I know it can be explained a little better than that. But I'm going to move on again because we're at 8:08. And I like to try to keep it at a certain thing. But anyway, I'm going to talk about sarcasm. And matter of fact, I'm going to hold off on sarcasm because that's going to be in a little bit that I read. But I'm going to give you 10 red flags to look out for. And I think these 10 red flags, you can look out for them in any relationship, any intimate, family, friends, anybody. So if you're with somebody who always has controlling behaviors, they dictate how you spend your time, they monitor your activities, they make decisions for you, they're financially abusive, they take your money, they restrict access to money, they give you an allowance, they monitor your spending. Those are all controlling behaviors, and those can be considered red flags. Because what are we, children? We can't control our own money. We can't make decisions for ourselves. So watch that. Red flag number 1. Red flag number 2. Communication style doesn't match yours. It isn't open. It isn't honest. Your partner refuses to talk about certain topics can be a red flag. The silent treatment. I've been through that one. Not only with my mother, but with my last ex-husband, my third ex-husband. Ignoring you, ignoring your input, a disregard for your opinions, your feelings during the discussion. Those are all red flags. And do you see how subtle they are? Where some of us would miss those. like the silent treatment. Maybe they just don't want to talk right now. Some people do that deliberately. Walk wrong by like you're not even there. Okay, so these are things that I'm giving you. There's more. I suggest you do some sort of work on your. I'm gonna give you all I can. Okay, but I suggest you also do some work on what I've told you, and look it up. Um, because these are little things that you may think aren't red flags, but they are. Constant criticism. Somebody who's always negative remarks about your looks, your body, your clothing. My first husband used to do that. And I even changed my look because of it. I used to dress really wacky and weird, which I'm getting back to now because I love it. I used to wear blazers and like put my own stuff together. And one day he said on the phone to somebody, "You ought to see her over here. She look weird. I don't know what she thinks. She thinks this looks good." Immediately, immediately, I went in and changed everything about me. Everything great about me. In that one sentence, I let that man take it away. And you know what? He wasn't the first. I mean, he was the first, but he wouldn't be the last because I was with 3 other men married. I was married 3 times, and they all had something to say about my attire. Whether it be a dress that, they didn't like a halter dress, everything was covered, but I didn't like the way it looked. I loved the dress. I got so mad at that one, I took it off and I threw it in the trash. I didn't set a boundary. I let them control me. What I say? Control me. I let it control me. I let them change who I was as a person. This beautiful person you see sitting on your camera right now, I let them tell me who I should be. And like my book, Asa, I was trained in that nature because everyone around me was telling me who I should be. And I was letting them. And I was even doing it. I was being the person that they wanted me to be. So watch out, because constant criticism is a red flag. Now, we talked about abuse. And of course, abuse, harming you physically, making verbal assaults, manipulating you with fear, intimidation, control, all abuse. Financial, we've mentioned those. So I'm going to go on. Anger issues. Now, I myself I used to get really, really angry. But on this healing journey, I get angry, but I'm working on dealing with that anger and how I deal with that anger. Sometimes my anger can come where um, someone is being blatantly dismissive of my boundaries or my feelings or my belongings. And I've set that clear boundary, and I've said what was bothering me, or I've said what I don't like about it, and it still continues. Now that can make me angry. I don't get angry much, but if you continue to poke the bear, yeah. Oh no, gaslighting, y'all. I did do it. Gaslighting is when people make you doubt your own reality. That's it. They deny things happened, like saying, remember I was saying, yeah, well, you did. Well, yeah, no. Remember when they kind of, no, you didn't. I didn't do that. But I remember when you did this. So gaslighting is when they deny things happened. They question your memory, and they make you question your memory. They insist that the conversation or certain situations never happened, which can make a person feel unsecure of their recollections. They blame you for their actions. See, they guilt trip there. I'm glad I didn't write that, y'all, but I'm glad I did. Hiding things from you. Being overly private is a red flag. Did you know that? I've never felt comfortable with that because my first thing I'm thinking is, what you hiding? Now, I'm all for privacy, but you know, overly private, especially when you're in a relationship with someone intimately. Now, I've seen, I've a lot of, well, not a lot of, because I've never really carried a lot of people around me, but I've had some family members who are very discreet about their lives, but very open about mine. What you talking about, Willis? But I've had friends as well where I'm like, what? I didn't know that about you. And be years later. But I don't know if it was maybe they just thought I was going to say something. I don't know. But hiding things, being overly private, giving unclear answers to where you're going or where you've been, or keeping financial secrets they're all red flags. You see what I mean? Keeping financial secrets. Substance abuse. I know a lot about this one. Being drunk or high, or more than being sober. Choosing to use whatever it is, whether it's drugs or drinking, over spending time with you. Big, huge red flag. I didn't follow that one. I just skipped right over that flag. Probably because I was a drinker too with them. I was a drinker too. So I skipped right over that. But we'll get to that. Anyway, let's keep going. Um, Being dishonest, lying, breaking promises, being unclear on purpose is all a red flag. Number 10, being extremely jealous, constant accusations, monitoring your interaction, and isolating you. Those are all red flags of 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 the start of an abusive relationship. I gave you 10 things to look out. Those are 10 red flags to look out for if you're starting or even if you're in a relationship. Any of these could potentially lead you to an abusive relationship. I advise you, if you are, to take a real good look at where you are and make a decision that's going to be healthy for you. Make a decision that's going to be healthy for you. If you haven't taken anything from here, take you. You deserve to be treated with respect. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be on this earth and live happy. Life is too short. I waited a long time before I learned these. Well into my 40s. Like I said, I'm almost 52. I'm 53. I'll be 53 in June. June 12th. I'm a Gemini. Don't believe everything you hear about us either. But anyway, it's bomb. I've been on here for 18 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm gonna rock it out to 20 minutes. And I know these are my videos, and sometimes everybody's got shit to do. But here, if you take anything from here, take that you matter. Take that boundaries are important to set. Start setting them if you haven't. Be okay with people telling you no. Be strong and confident when telling others no. I'm doing it now. It feels good. I look good. I not only look good on the outside, but it's starting to match on the inside. And that's what my goal is. You can look good on the outside, but everything that look good isn't good. So let's get it feeling good on the inside too. I'm Melissa June. I'm Melissa Talks. I'm writing my book, Ussa. But before I wanted to read that, I wanted to give you a little bit of definitions, clear definitions of what these things, tactics that abusers use that can help us. So you have a great day. I'll be back on a little bit later to read a little bit of Asa by Melissa June. Me. Happy Monday.